walk sideways, so. We'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear wise and loving Father, thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of serving the community. I pray you give us wisdom to govern, a sense of true needs of our residents, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony. I pray for the agenda set before us tonight. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around the village of Hicksville. It is in your most blessed name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you everyone for coming tonight. It's nice to see your smiling faces back there.
Look good.
Roll call, please.
Baker?
Here.
Clark?
Here.
Beverly?
Here.
Edmonds?
Here.
Jones? Here.
Thank you. You have in your packet minutes from the Tuesday, July 5th council meeting for approval. Are there any corrections?
I move to approve the minutes, that's right. I would second that.
Roll call, please.
Jones? Edmonds?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Beverly?
Abstain.
Clark?
Yes.
Thank you. You have the approved bills list in your packet. Are there any questions?
I have a question, Mayor. I don't have a problem with the bill. I just wanted to, I'm curious, what's a drain lever repair?
The
Okay.
website.
That's all I had.
Do you want to move to approve?
I'll move to approve those bills, Mayor.
Beverly moved to approve the bills.
Second.
Mr. Early seconded. Roll call, please.
Beverly?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Thank you. There was a beautification committee meeting held July 13th, but it appears there are no minutes in the packet from the meeting yet. So when those are prepared, we'll get them in the packet. Street, Light, and Property Committee met July 11th, and I believe they have some minutes in the packet. Would anyone like to comment about that meeting?
I think Ron will speak to that with the full council.
Yes, Mayor. We all three met, as the notes indicate, and looking at it, and we really need to, when we raise those buildings, which needs done.
For those that are listening, they don't know what location you're talking about. They
I'm
don't have
sorry.
the benefit of the minutes.
The old waterworks buildings, the two buildings that stand right in front of Froggy Park, Imagination Station, I guess maybe it's called, but my wife says it is known by grandmas by Froggy Station.
Ah.
That's official. It has a bathroom there, one bathroom, that, I don't know how we get away with it. But the committee thought we need to drop those two buildings, move over to the edge of the concrete. There's an existing sidewalk there. My drawing does not represent it very well at all. But, and put two ADA handicap bathrooms. Nice ones. Something that the park can be proud of, because the rest of the park is beautiful right there. We really need to do that, and we probably need to do it soon. And so I would like it to open it up to conversation for anybody, that possibly we could vote on this, if that's what it takes, to get approval to drop these buildings, or at least Ken can start looking for some prices to get them dropped, and And I would imagine that we're probably going to have to get with an engineering firm to draw up these restrooms so that we can go to bid on them, if everybody agrees with it. So at that juncture of my conversation, I will say, if you have any questions or if you have any comments. Yes, Mike?
I might add, Ron had a great idea about using the old infrastructure for, the water and the plumbing for the restrooms, which would save a lot of money. And then we wouldn't need to blacktop the whole thing. We could just fill in there where those are and create more parking spaces for people to congregate at the park.
Which is different than what was being proposed on the plan?
No, no.
That's all included.
I just forgot to highlight on that, and thank you, Mike. Yeah, the parking would be, like I've indicated here, and there again, it's just very rough, but we're thinking we can pick up, like 30 spaces just in the center here, from where those buildings are gone. There'll be two doubles pulled in against each other. Also, another thing I forgot, we would like to have these inside of this building now, existing building of HIX-TV, there is a security monitoring system. We want it taken out of there and taken to the PD. We want it left at the PD so that it can be monitored. And also, because these are going to be very nice restrooms, and I hope by the time that this thing is completed, we have got a handle on any type of vandalism down there, but it always happens. But we would like to see the PD lock them up at night. I think the hours are possibly 11 o'clock at night in the park, and 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Have the PD, not anybody that works down there, but have the PD come down, lock it up at night, check the area, make sure everything's good. In the morning, they come back, unlock it. It's quite as simple as when school's going on, they go out and monitor the ins and outs of the school. They can do this too. And in the wintertime, they wouldn't have to do it because we would lock it up and have it winterized. But these are all the thoughts that committee, which is Mike and myself, we discussed down there. We all think it's a wonderful idea. It would be an asset to the park, and especially that end of the park, because that end of the park with its all of it. And I went down there and sat for, I was probably there a half hour, 45 minutes, just trying to see where trees set and make sure that we could get to our water and sewer in an easy way, different ways that we could take care of some drainage if we needed to. That place was busy, and it was, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon during the week. And it was just a constant barrage of mothers and kids. So that's what we'd like to do, if anybody has anything to comment.
Any idea how much?
We never discussed it as a group, but I kind of threw something, what I'm thinking for demolition, and then to go in and do these two ADA restrooms. I'm going to say you're at like 100, 100 and a quarter.
So is that something we want to budget for next year? We'll go ahead and tear the building down maybe, but then...
I think yes, we need to, and you know me, I don't like to wait around for things. I'd like to see it done so that it could be used next summer, as opposed to the construction going on while the park is
I think
busy.
it's a great idea, but I'd like to see it budget for next year. We can go ahead.
And that, I don't know, you've always depend on finance. Is there any way that we probably can't budget next year, build it this year, budget next year, and take that money and pay that back? No.
No. I mean, we could...
It really sounded good.
We could spend it.
Maybe you can get an idea of what it costs and then go from there.
Right.
I think it's a great idea. I agree.
I don't know if you, I'd like to see it done. Those buildings they're going to fall.
I know that brick building's in pretty bad shape.
What do
Walk
they
through
use them
there.
for now?
What's in the other
For
building?
storage, so we're going to use a lot of storage.
What's in that building? We couldn't get in it, Val.
The other
Right now,
side.
not a whole lot, it's just like,
What do you put in it?
benches, barrels, I mean, anything that sets out in the winter.
Winter time.
So possibly, if we did decide that there's a great need for additional storage, instead of it being right in the middle of a parking lot, we could go wander off someplace back by your building or something and possibly put up an unfinished pole buildings type structure, low cost.
The one that looks a little nicer down there.
Mhm.
And that's one where we use more.
We saw some barrels and, the trailer was in there, I think. That was about it.
Where will HIX-TV go?
They are already at the school.
Oh, are they?
They have been there.
And they don't use that hemp for years. It's just been a steady decline in the structure.
There's some very nice cupboards there.
But Kent has about all of them out.
Do you?
Well, we haven't taken any out.
I hope you have.
Yes, we hauled some stuff out today. There's still a few things I want to get out of there. Cabinets, so some of them still have stuff on top of them. But I guess back to your camera system. Can that get moved?
Really, I talked it over with Eric, and he'd like to have it down there instead, rather than out there where we'd have to call them.
We were told you have one. You have a monitor in your office. No?
I have to go use one in the
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
We were-
for this one.
Yeah, we were told that you had one in your office, they had that one, and it seemed like there was another one.
There's monitors all through the, each, like 5 of them down there, but they're not all.
So each camera has its own monitor and video. So-
Yeah, each set of cameras. Okay. Well, I guess we can cross that bridge, when we get a little closer. Excuse me?
I didn't know if the system was set up that way where they could do like a satellite feed out to the,
Can you? Do you know that? We cannot?
Well, it could, but we never had it in the.
right.
Well, yeah, because anything's possible.
Could it go in the, like a storage room in the restroom facility if there was like a closet space or, kind of thing, because you'd have to move that camera there. Just a thought.
You mentioned about the restrooms using the existing water and sewer.
Yes.
If you put it there, what about putting it where the existing waterworks building, where the water and sewer is already there?
Put the sewer there, or put the buildings there?
Just-
You'll be in the center of our parking, and
Yeah.
we really need additional parking there.
But where you want to put that, isn't there a huge amount of trees?
Oh, no.
And it's kind of like a hill?
It's completely bare, and it's level with the elevation of the parking lot. Like if this was the parking lot and you were facing the football field, this ground just goes right over there.
And then drops.
There's probably from here to that wall of unmolested ground and a sidewalk in front of it that goes over to that pavilion.
Yeah, okay.
It's a beautiful location.
I must need glasses, because I went down and looked the other day, and I don't see how you're fitting it between that sidewalk and the curb.
Well, there's a possibility we might have to take that curb or that sidewalk out of there and make everything there concrete.
Pavilion, there's plenty of room right in here.
You think there's room in there?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of room, but I don't know how big it is.
Well, there again,
What we didn't like, is we have all them picnic tables there, and then I have that restroom.
Yeah.
There, it's kind of blocked, and venture out.
There ain't one picnic table sitting there, Val. They're all on the other side.
Pavilion.
I think-
Pavilion.
The big pavilion.
You got the big pavilion there, but that's going to be out of the view of that pavilion. You'll have a direct shot. That restroom ain't going to be in the front of it.
yeah, well,
It's going to be,
Yeah.
It will be blocked.
it'll be closer to this.
Pavilion's more like right here.
no.
I'm not going to debate it.
I missed that pavilion by a long shot.
Yeah.
It's
I think they're a lot closer together than what
yes,
the
yes,
drawing is.
yes.
So the restroom, yeah, it's gonna have to get moved way over there. But then, I guess as far as, water, sewer, those existing taps won't work if you're moving your bathroom over many feet, so you're gonna have to put in new, which means you have to bore under the highway to make our sewer tap.
Why can't we use that tap?
Well, you gotta run your plumbing from wherever your bathroom is to something you're covering up with asphalt.
It says right in there, everything gets done prior to asphalt.
That's the reason I asked about putting it right there. It'd be half
Well-
the size, right, than the building that's there now.
Yeah. And they're not gonna
Water
have
and sewer.
to.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there.
Well,
I think it's a great idea.
Well, the only thing you'll have to do is a trench 18 inches wide.
Yeah, but we've got a 10-inch water line cutting right across the corner. When we cut off the waterworks building about 10 years ago, maybe less, we rerouted that line from over around the swimming pool. It used to go through the waterworks, it now cuts right off the side, so you're gonna have that to deal with if you're, then you're still gonna have your elevation issue with your new restroom trying to reach that whole tap.
Well, the elevation should be a piece of cake because
The bathroom's back here.
where the restroom is and where we're
Mary-
proposing the new bathroom, the ground elevation is identical within a few inches.
I don't think it's gonna work very good. I'm not gonna start a fight, I mean, we'll have to go down and
It's
look
not a
at
fight,
it.
it's common sense. How about,
But I don't think
why don't
it's
you want to
gonna
put it
work.
back here where it's not by where people are eating and playing and it should be right here? I don't know where you're,
Then you've got,
You really got elevation.
you got some of the other playgrounds.
that back there is
that-
elevated?
There's a couple other playground pieces of equipment back in there.
Yeah, there's some, it's nice and shady back there too.
There's restrooms at the football field, because that's the schools, and that's locked all the time.
That's schools.
We were told there's no restrooms except till you get to the other side.
In the back of that building, when they play football, yeah, they have restrooms, so.
During football.
Now, when are the
That's inside.
restrooms open to the football field? Because I've seen them open during the daytime. I've seen people go in over there,
It's if a track meet or something, or ball game.
They open them up?
baseball games. Okay. There were games going on. when
I would
was there.
suggest that we let the administrator take a look at this and have some engineering done. And I think what Ron is proposing will work, but we can talk about this till the cows come home. Why don't you go down there and look and take a good hard look at what Ron has proposed, and I think you will see what he's talking about.
And I'd be more than happy to go with you, Kent.
Council agrees with that?
Okay.
So do we need to vote or anything so that this thing will progress and not die here?
I think we need to get some quotes, more solid
We need to
plans.
vote that we want to go ahead with this, because you're gonna have to get an engineer and get some pricing, and
If someone makes a motion, you can. It won't
I
hurt
would make a
anything.
motion that we proceed with
Needs to tear down.
the tearing down of the building and getting some pricing on the two restrooms that are proposed in this set of notes, and move forward.
Is there a restroom in the small building?
Yes.
Well, instead of tearing down and building, why don't we?
Well, it's in this building. It's right in between.
It's right here.
I don't know how you got away with it, because it's like 3 foot wide, maybe 4, long, narrow thing. Plus you gotta step up about 3 feet, 2.5 to 3 feet to get into it.
Actually, that's just a place for the people to hide and do their mischief.
Yes, yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been awful appreciative of it being there when my kids were little and my grandkids were
Everything wrong
there.
with them.
They need someplace
Things
to,
have changed just a little bit down there.
yeah.
I don't know how the park has got away with not having an ADA in there.
Well, there's restrooms at the pool still, aren't there, Val, on the outside of the pool and on the inside of the pool? And they're flat, they're not. But I don't know how, to answer your question, no, I don't,
But I've made a motion.
I'd second the motion.
Before you
Roll call,
vote,
please. No.
before you vote, I know, I'm always the stick in the mud. I'm just trying to keep everybody out of mischief. If you were doing this as a project, and it sounds like it's gonna be well over 50 grand, how am I supposed to piecemeal this, not to have shelves?
You're not gonna piecemeal it, we're gonna try to find out how much it's gonna cost to get the buildings torn down.
Well, then that means I gotta put out quotes, which makes it illegal right off the bat.
It won't be 50 grand to tear down the buildings if you do a piecemeal. What's it gonna cost to tear down those two buildings? 10,000?
I don't know.
I'm probably high.
I don't know what all's underneath that old water.
Two separate projects.
Yeah.
the tear down is one project, and then if you decide to build a restroom in a different location, it'd be a second project.
That's how we'll phrase my suggestion, that we proceed with the demolition and also authorize Kent to see what 2 restrooms will cost us.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please. Yes, Kent? Let-
A little more to this than what you guys
Well,
are
let
thinking
Kent think
about.
of it.
And I don't want to be here all night. Then you've got parking lot restoration, you're gonna have some other stuff involved.
The parking lot restoration can be included in the restrooms, because whoever puts the restrooms in is going to have to dig across the parking lot.
Would you feel better if we just took this one step at a time, we just did the demolition, period? Would you feel okay with that?
No.
Okay, you don't,
What would you feel okay with? The buildings are gonna fall down.
Well, let's say you're ready to demo it, I'm just gonna say in a month.
Yeah.
What do you gotta do with your camera stuff? Somebody's gotta get this stuff figured out.
Yeah, it's not, it's just, I'll hurry up for you.
I mean, really. And you don't want to be tearing it down while school's still out. You don't want to be tearing it down during football season. All right? We've got people down there quite a bit, so you don't want to. So, I mean, you need to.
Well, if we moved on with this, it could be gone before school starts. It could be gone before the middle of August if we...
Yeah, but people are using it now. You don't want to
Oh,
demolish
you go down there and look at what's down there, and it's a bunch of junk. If we need that building, especially the biggest building, to keep 55-gallon drums in, we're doing something wrong.
You don't want a demolition site if you got a lot of people using the park in the summer, right?
and
So you wanna do
and we really
You
need,
still got to find a place for all this.
we need to work on the details of getting the
Yep.
camera moved, the,
I mean, I'm not opposed to
the
this, but I
stuff
think there's a
moved.
lot
so-
more involved here than, I mean, I got a whole list of stuff.
At least getting prices. I think it'll cost more than $10,000,
Well, yeah, that I don't know, but
because you can't just bury it. You gotta take it to landfill, right?
if you run ahead and you get quotes, well, how long those guys want to hold their quotes if you might not do this, say, till next spring or it's just,
There's not money in the budget either to move the monitor and stuff, because that's all gonna cost money.
Currently, this is just my opinion, currently, you don't want to move the cameras. You just want to take them down, put them in a box, and wait until this place is finished, so that they can be put up on posts or whatever's required to get the pictures that you want. Because you're probably going to want at least one of those cameras, keeping a good eye on those new buildings, new restrooms.
you can move the camera stuff.
Well, we might have a guy that installed.
See, I wasn't involved with hooking them up, so I don't know how
Yeah,
complex
he
they
has
are.
somebody to help him.
I think we all agree we like the project.
If you don't think there's money to do any of it this year, I wouldn't be rushing into it. If you think there is, well, then you guys tell me what you want.
I can see this coming to a screeching halt.
Just need to slow down a little bit, but I agree with the tear down. But I'd like to know how much.
The buildings are pretty...
Well, I know that.
Well, they have been for quite a while, and if we wouldn't have pointed out the floor, nobody'd even be thinking about this, so.
No, we wouldn't
How I
be thinking
look at
about it had you not sent an email to everybody that you wanted to know what to do with them. Now we're telling you what to do with them, and you don't want to do it.
No, I'll do whatever, but we need to also have funds to do it,
One thing
know what
I,
you want done.
one thing that I will bring up right now is the county commissioners are gonna do a second phase of demolition. One of the townships asked if they do a commercial building, so I believe they're gonna open it up to commercial buildings or residential housing unoccupied for 6 months. So maybe this would qualify for one of the county commissioners' demolitions, just a thought.
Good thought.
They said that we should get our stuff submitted right away, but, I mean, I've talked to Mike Barth about, Mike Bailey about it, and we didn't even, I don't know if we could come up with any other ideas, so it's,
Ken, don't you think you can get some numbers around for what this thing's gonna cost before we make a motion to tear it down?
Well, demolition, yeah, I can probably work up an head, now the restrooms and all that, you'd have to have somebody do some work, well, who do I,
like, call another village where you like the restrooms and say, can we have your blueprints?
let you do that?
I haven't
I'm
been
sorry,
to the
don't
park
mean to sound
buildings.
slippers, but have at it. If you don't know what you want, I don't know how I'm supposed to get.
Personally, I would be satisfied with a family restroom, only one, and handicap accessible family restroom, and make it simple
I don't
myself.
vote in any of this, so
But,
if that's what half want and the other half want the two, well, I kinda need to know that.
I wouldn't have any problem with one, like the mayor just stated. I just think you can get some numbers together without a lot of problem and satisfy the committee's recommendation to council. My personal take. Can't be that difficult.
I know Antelope has a nice restroom in their park. Veterans Memorial.
We aren't gonna get anywhere with you fighting City Hall here. You're the administrator, so just figure out a way.
He's not fighting it.
Not fighting, I just wanna know
He's
what's
trying to
going
make,
on.
get it organized so we
And
know
I-
what we're doing. We're just
I can totally
talking
agree.
here.
I can totally agree with that.
I'll see what I can find.
Cheryl, would you repeat the motion, please?
Seriously?
Yeah. Just so we know what we're voting on again, since we haven't taken a vote yet.
To demolish and a motion to look into the other costs.
Satisfactory motion to demolish and motion to look into the other cost. Okay.
We're just looking at costs.
Just
Yes.
cost.
That's fine.
And then next year we can budget for the new restroom.
That sounds good. Roll call, please. Yes, Kent, you're looking at me. Do you have anything else?
I'm just gonna shut up.
No, go ahead. Let's get this out in the open.
If it's not gonna happen till next year, why not just, there we go.
Because we could be getting the building demolished right now today. I mean, this year, so that's a step in the right direction, but,
As long as all this other stuff falls into place.
right. The camera work
I will do
stuff,
whatever
so.
Council says, and then you guys can,
It would be nice if Val would go ahead and get a cost of removing and taking down the monitor and stuff that's in there right now, getting that removed, figuring out a place for the stuff that is in there now.
Well, some of that stuff, we're gonna put in the
Okay, sounds good.
stuff that we got.
Okay.
I mean, how soon would they want things out of it? Tomorrow?
No.
Next spring.
The county commissioners have not even done the first round of demolition yet, so I doubt if they would be doing the second round of demolition until fall. Just a guess, I mean,
Fall's not that far away.
no, but they haven't even done the first round of demolition. I don't even know if they could get the second round done yet this year, but at least you'll know the cost, and you'll know if you can come up with that in this year's budget or not, if you need it to remove it this year. How's that sound? Okay.
Would you make that motion? I'll second it.
Very good.
Roll call, please.
Baker?
And this is just for costs, right?
Demolition and cost estimate.
Mark?
Yep.
Headley?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Thank you, and thanks to the committee for meeting regarding that matter. Are there any other committee reports? Anybody's committee working on anything they want to update us on? Okay, thank you.
Would this be a good time to talk about the open burning?
Why don't we wait till we get to the
Okay.
reading of the ordinance? How about that?
Yep.
Administrators report, please.
nothing.
All right.
Already did it.
No, nothing, I didn't have anything.
Already saw it.
Solicitors report, please.
First thing, I'll follow up tomorrow on the fire levy with the auditors. I haven't talked to them since we dropped that stuff off to them. Then the first thing I have is ordinance 2006-10, an ordinance amending section 521.11 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Hicksville, Ohio to amend the regulations regarding recreational fires.
Discussion, please.
Yes, Mayor, I would like to, I think we are jumping the gun on this. When this all started by a complainant, we all decided and agreed, and I'm almost 100% sure that it was 100% of us at this table agreed that we needed to advertise and make the public aware of what the existing ordinance really is. And when you can burn and what you can burn, and the police chief, he was here and he said that every time that he got someplace where there was a fire, that people either claimed ignorance or really were unaware of the law. And usually after he tells them, he never goes back again. He never has to go back again. I got a lot of people talking to me, going, you know, how can one person come up here and make it so that nobody can do what they want to in their backyard? And I can understand that person with a situation that he may have, but as far as I know, nobody has went down there and talked to a neighbor. We have not done a single thing to advertise the law. You know, we said we were going to get a little campaign up and make everybody aware. We didn't do it. We haven't done a thing.
Couldn't they print it in the paper? We've had it.
In my opinion, Ron, and now, not everybody granted reads the Defiance Crescent or the News Tribune, but anybody that reads the council minutes knows that it's a topic for discussion, or anybody that may watch it on cable TV knows it's a topic for discussion. And by starting these first readings and doing them one at a time opens up a discussion, as far as I'm concerned also, which was then, you know, you wanted to open it up for discussion, and that's fine. There may be some people here in the audience tonight that want to discuss it also, so I do feel it's open for discussion.
But we haven't advertised.
How would we? What would you want it to say?
We had talked about putting it in the paper, I thought. I thought that's what we had talked about.
What we talked about was the mayor writing an article about current issues, I believe, and the
mayor didn't do that?
The mayor doesn't consider herself a journalist very much, and although I did start a draft today regarding the subject for the newspaper if they wanted it. You know, I mean, they don't know what it's going to say. I'm not sure I know what it's going to say. Well, I started it, but anyway, yes, we want to open dialogue about open burning in town. Troy, would you please explain to us at this moment the differences between what we currently have and what this ordinance would change? Why don't we start with that?
There are only 3 differences from what's, as far as I know, and I didn't look on the dates, been in effect for as long as, you know, recent memory. The only differences are the time restriction, the time restriction, 5 p.m. and 1 a.m., that they can't be left unattended for any period of time, and that they're not allowed to smolder, and they have to be fully extinguished at the end. That's the only thing. And there's 7 pages or whatever, as I mentioned before. The ordinance itself comes right out of the state code and the EPA burning ordinance, and it talks about a lot of things other than recreational fires. And it talks about ceremonial fires, it talks about EPA burns, things of that nature, and what's allowed and not allowed. So this is only a minuscule part of the entire ordinance, and the differences are the time frame. And quite honestly, I guess this would be my opinion on it, really the only thing that's of consequence, I guess, in this would be the time restriction. I mean, the fact that you gotta put it out instead of let it smolder, that seems like common sense anyway to prevent fires. And the fact that you shouldn't leave it unattended for any period of time seems like common sense. And maybe we shouldn't have to put that in there, but reminding people, you know, if we're changing it. really the issue of consequence, my guess is, and I haven't talked to any of the people that are concerned about it, would be the time restrictions. which-
That's the main complaint that I'm getting.
And as far as what the chief of police said, I think that would be the concern with it is, I think that the initial complaint that brought this up, at least from when he was here at the meeting, he wasn't suggesting that his neighbors were somehow violating the current ordinance. He wasn't suggesting they were out there burning furniture or construction materials or anything like that. I think the issue just was about the fact that his wife's allergic to smoke and the whole effect of that. And so that's, I guess, from my vantage point, the police chief mentioned there were some people that needed educated on it, and that usually that took care of the problem. But at least the complaint that generated the start to all this, I don't think any of that complaint was that people weren't following the current law.
But we haven't educated.
Okay, so is there anyone in the audience tonight that would like to step up to the microphone and address council regarding the burning ordinance? Please do. And please state your name for the minutes, please.
My name is Scott McClish. I am the neighbor, the one that complained. My question is, how long has this burning ordinance been in effect by law in Hicksville?
Long time, Scott.
Yep.
And why until recently I purchased this house, that now they're coming forward and wanting to change it? That's my question. I like to enjoy my backyard. Yes, I like to have a fire. I cook a lot of food on my fire. I don't see where there's a problem with cooking food on your fire through the week, weekends, or whatever. That's my main question on this.
I think when a resident comes forward with a concern, we should at least take it under consideration. That doesn't necessarily mean that we will change anything, but we should at least take it under consideration and listen to them. And so,
like I said, it's been an open burn law for how long? And I just purchased the house a couple months ago, and now they want to change it, so I can't enjoy my backyard. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Thanks, Scott. I would encourage any of the residents that want to voice their opinion to contact a council member or myself. You probably know all of them sitting at the table here, and give them your opinion on how you feel about it, please. Anybody else? Thank you.
I'd like to make a comment, on that committee. Met with the people. I've had other people agree with them. And some people wanted maybe one during the weekend and once during the week, no burn. And I said, I can't make that fly. So we kind of compromised, and we come up with a 5 to 1. So what time would you like to see? Sounds like it's the time that you're concerned.
Well, I like to cook all day long. I mean, if you want to cook your dinner, cook a steak out back at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, why can't you do that?
Okay, again, we kind of compromised and brought before the whole council and had this discussion. We've had the first reading, so in 2 weeks we'll have our second reading, then in 2 more weeks we'll have the third reading. So, yeah, we'll take that, like Diane the mayor said.
Thank you for coming to the meeting, voicing your concern.
Let me ask one question. Is this time, when you think about what Scott just said, is the time the fact, because we have plenty of people that do use a recreational fire. And this ordinance came into effect back in the 80s when George Cherry was mayor. I was serving on council at the time. And I can remember what it was designed for. It was designed so people could cook out back or cook on their property and have a fire. Not to burn up your trash, just to have a wood fire to be able to cook. That's what it was designed for. Recreational fire like we used to have when we were kids. So maybe the time restraint thing can be relooked.
So we have 3 readings.
That's, and I'm
I really
pressing you
don't-
on, because that's what everybody's been talking about to me, it's a time.
I really don't think you need a time on it.
Yeah.
You just need enforcement,
Education.
people
enforcement.
know when they're doing, And we need the,
Respect for the,
Respect
instead of
the
complaining
neighbors.
to your neighbor, complain to the police, let them take care of it.
Lonnie would like to make a comment, please.
In regard to the time constraint, if you're only allowing burning from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m., what about the people that work second shift and have small children and want to have a recreational fire with their children? I don't think,
Kind of what we're saying right now.
Yeah.
I don't think a time constraint is productive for the village.
No.
Thank you. Okay, we've had our first reading. We've had some discussion, some good discussion here tonight, so.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yep. You're back at you.
Next is the first reading ordinance 2016-11. I think on everybody's copies it has XX on it, but 11. First reading by caption only, an ordinance authorizing the village fiscal officer to transfer funds. Got any questions? That's what was brought up at the last meeting regarding getting that fund corrected. And then the last thing is resolution 2016-11, third reading by caption only, a resolution for the village of Hicksville, Ohio to rehire Troy Essex as village solicitor for the village of Hicksville.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baker?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Headley?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Thank you.
The transfer of funds, does that need to be done soon, Cheryl?
3 readings in 30 days. Okay.
Moving forward on the agenda, we'll do department head reports. The police chief is not here. Do you have anything to report in his absence? Thank you for attending. Fire chief? Kramer.
Just a couple of reminders. Saturday, August 6th is Summerfest, and we'll be having breakfast next door. We're going to have some activities for kids and family. We'll do fire extinguisher training there, all kinds of stuff going on, so come on out to the breakfast. And we recently received a radio grant through the county, the joint effort between us and Defiance and the 911 Center. And we received 17 portable radios for the fire and EMS. You guys got 10? I think the PD got 10. So,
Great.
Super.
Thank you. And EMS chief, Lonnie Kessler, please.
I'd like to present Alexis Hug for employment with the EMS. She's passed all of her schooling, testing, has done a background check, physical and drug screen. So I would like a recommendation to add her to the roster.
I will recommend Alexis Hug to the EMS department.
Make a motion to take the mayor's recommendation for Alexa.
Second.
Where you from, Alexis?
From here in Hicksville, but I live in Stryker right now.
Huh? Are you planning to come over and see us, stay with us a while?
Well, I stay at my parents.
Roll call, please.
Jones?
Yes.
Headley?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes. Council, how many do you have on staff now? 12. Number
All right.
1. Good job.
Very good. Welcome aboard. Fiscal officers report, please.
I have the statement of cash month to date, the utility second quarter report, utility collections. And Kim has made up a list of some of the highlights. She was at the income tax conference last week. Have some changes that are coming. We'll have to change our ordinance to get it. If you have any questions about that, she will be glad to talk to any of you. We also have an application for Justin to 520 West High, which is the alley for, and we have the franchise fee payment statement for another meeting.
What happened to the liquor license that was out there? They had one.
Probably lapsed with
I think it was
youth for.
Years ago.
Yeah,
Somebody else buy it,
Youth
or?
replaced it.
No?
just went back.
No, you just turn them in like we did with the one for Gateways after the bar used to be. If you don't renew it, then you don't have to pay them the
Isn't the town
21.
allowed so many or something?
You just have to
Yeah, it's
apply.
based on population.
Looking at the notes that Kim made from her income tax conference, it really scares me that they would try to pass a pay where you live, which means that all these people who work in Hicksville and don't live here won't have to pay village income tax if that passes, so that would be pretty critical to us, so.
They tried that a couple of years ago, didn't they?
Well, that was where they were trying to make this, let the state collect the income taxes instead of the municipalities, which I wouldn't want either. So I assume that Kim's gonna work closely with Troy to keep up on all of our changes that we need to make. Thank you. So I guess we're at the mayor's report, and so, Mr. Murphy, if you could step up to the mic, would you like to report to council what you're doing about the audio system here in the council room, please? You can get untangled from all the wires.
Yes, responding to council's concern about the audio quality. Currently, I'm waiting to hear from MediaCom because the first thing I wanted to determine who is actually responsible for installing the original equipment that we're currently using. And when I get a hold of MediaCom, should they be the ones that install this original equipment, then I'll talk to them about possibly upgrading it and hopefully getting them to maybe assume part of the cost. If they are not, if this is something that is solely our responsibility as a village, then I plan on contacting a couple of vendors to have them come out and look over the council room and the current system and make some recommendations. And I'm going to try to set it up so, what I'd really like to be able to do is to be able to set something up where we could basically do a dry run and see what it looks like and sounds like before we actually purchase it, so that it can be, we can be pretty confident that once we make the purchase and install a new system, if we decide to do that, that we would have an acceptable type of audio. I think that probably a lot of the problems are going to be fairly easy to rectify, because the system is so old. In the last dozen years or so, there's more and more people that have cell phones and other devices that can cause interference, and just with all that type of technology, depending on how the original system was created and how well it's grounded or shielded, it could just be that it's just old and it's just not quite up to speed. So I hope to be able to deliver some sort of information about progress to council sometime during the month of August. And my goal is that hopefully by the start of the school year, that we would be able to have something either, if not already upgraded, have the plans in place. Our next board meeting for HIX-TV takes place in in August. And hopefully at that meeting, we'll be able to talk about some of the possibilities there and see just what direction the HIX-TV board would like to take or what kind of input they want. But again, I'm hopeful that we'll be able to see some progress in the month of August and hopefully get things upgraded before the end of the year is my goal.
Thank you, I appreciate that, Bill. Also on the agenda, you just have a note that I would like to see. I'm putting out a plea for someone to organize a soccer league, a fall, spring soccer leagues in town for little kids, or you can do adults. Someone that knows anything about soccer. We used to have a lot of activity on the soccer field in the spring and fall, 6 weeks leagues. And I've had people say that they'd like to see their kids play that, so I just need someone to step up and, I guess, organize a league. Is there anyone else sitting in the back of the council room that would like to say anything to council tonight? Anything the council members would like to address we haven't covered?
It's supposed to get hot this weekend, and what's the temperature for the free swim?
95?
95, and what's the hours on the weekend?
12.
Saturday and Sunday?
So when the temperature reaches 95 degrees, there's free swimming at the Hicksville pool between 12 and 6. Thank you, Sheila.
And you can go home and cook out.
Well, you think about it, we allow grills and everything else, so
Yeah.
I think you just need to look at time restraint
You,
and straighten it out.
When someone gets out of hand, it just needs enforced, and I think that's what doesn't
That's what they're
happen.
there for.
you know, that's something I was thinking about, because this weekend I fired up a smoker. And I mean, it really smoked. It smoked and smoked and smoked and smoked. And I thought all that stayed inside the, grill, but it didn't. And I thought, boy, it's a good thing nobody's close to me. I guess we'll entertain a motion to adjourn if you guys are done.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Barth,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Beverly,
Move in.
Edley.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, everyone.